Amy. So today I want to share with you a little bit about my struggle with mental illness. You may or may not know that I have dealt with depression and anxiety almost my whole life. What you probably don't know, and many don't, is that in July of 2012, I wanted to end my own life. So backstory, my grandma Martin passed away in May of that year, and I was devastated. I was super close with her. She was the first person I had lost in that way that I was that close with, and I didn't know how to process the emotion. On top of that, I was in a new relationship. There were red flags shooting up everywhere that this person was not good for me. It was already abusive and very toxic, but because I had no self-worth and didn't think I deserved any better, I hung in there. So I had that going on, and then processing and trying to deal with the loss of my grandma. And it just became too much. I remember getting up one morning and going and sitting on my couch, and I just stayed there. I got up to go to the bathroom. I got up to feed my kids, and that was it. I just laid on that couch for almost a week. Didn't bathe, barely ate. I literally just laid there. I begged God to just open the floor, swoop me down in this hole. I didn't want to be here anymore. I just didn't want to be here anymore. I think the only reason that I didn't hurt myself or go through with it is because I didn't want to put that pain on my kids. My uncle killed himself in my freshman year of high school, and I saw the pain and the damage that it did to my mom and to my grandma, and I couldn't do that to my kids. They were my saving grace. But I truly, if I could have had my way, I wanted to disappear. Finally, I called my mom and I said, "Mom, I don't want to be here anymore. I need help." And she called my sisters, and all four of them showed up to my house, got me in the car, and took me to the hospital. And I spent the next week there talking to therapists, getting on medication, and dealing with the grief of losing my grandma. Just a lot of things that I had buried down deep inside of me that I didn't realize were bubbling up to the surface. So I guess what I want to tell you is, so many times we hear people ending their lives, taking their lives, and it's so sad to me because I think of them, I'm like, how could we have helped them? What could we have done? And there's a stigma around suicide and people ending their life, how selfish they are. How could they do this? And I'm telling you, as somebody who has been there, that the overwhelm and just the despair that you feel, it sucks you into this pit, and there's nothing you can do to get out of it. It overtakes everything about you. I still don't know what gave me the courage and the strength to pick up the phone and call my mom. I have no idea. I'm not any more special than anybody else who deals with this. But for whatever reason, I had just enough strength to pick up that phone and call her. And I'm so glad that I did, because I'm still here. And so I ask you, if you know of anybody who is struggling with suicidal thoughts, or not wanting to be here, or is talking about ending their life, please help them in any way you can. If you don't know how to do it, find somebody who can. Just talk to them, be there for them, but most importantly, understand and don't judge them, because what they're dealing with is something, unless you've been through it, you can't explain it or describe it to somebody else. But that pain and despair is real, and it's valid, and they need to be seen. And I'm just so thankful that, like I said, I had the courage and the strength to get the help that I needed for my kids and for myself, because I had a lot of life left to live, and I'm so glad that I made that call. So I just ask you, please think about those around you and don't judge. You never know what somebody's going through unless you've been through it yourself.